The streets of Paris were wrapped in a serene hush, blanketed by freshly fallen snow that shimmered softly under the golden glow of street lamps. Each lamppost seemed to stand like a guardian, casting a warm halo over the cobblestone streets and the rooftops they lined. Snowflakes drifted gently from the dark sky, each one unique, spinning and twirling as if performing a quiet ballet just for the city. The chill in the air was crisp, but comforting, filling the lungs with a refreshing coolness that cleared the mind and eased every tension. Along the narrow lanes, tiny cafes and patisseries glowed warmly, their windows fogged with the gentle heat of inside life. The scent of freshly baked bread and sweet pastries wove through the streets, mingling with the faint aroma of roasted chestnuts from a vendor's cart nearby. Occasionally, a faint bell would ring from a distant church, signaling the passing of an hour, yet it was softened by the snow, creating a sound that was more a gentle murmur than a chime. Every sound felt distant, slowed, and softened, as if the snow itself had wrapped the city in a comforting, protective layer. A small cafe sat on a corner, its wooden doors slightly ajar, inviting the rare passerby to step in from the cold. Inside, the warm golden light spilled out, illuminating the wet footprints that had led travelers to this sanctuary. Patrons sipped slowly on steaming mugs of coffee and chocolate, their conversations quiet and hushed, as if even their words respected the calm that had settled over the city. A soft melody played from a hidden music box on the counter, adding a delicate harmony to the gentle silence outside. Above the city, rooftops glimmered under the soft touch of snow. Chimneys exhaled gentle puffs of smoke into the crisp night air, blending with the faint mist that rose from the Seine. The bridges spanning the river were lightly frosted, their arches reflected in the calm, dark water below. Occasionally, a duck would paddle quietly beneath, sending ripples that glimmered under the lamplight, breaking the reflection ever so slightly before settling again. The city felt like a living painting, each brushstroke rendered in shades of white, gold, and silver, every detail inviting the viewer to pause, to breathe, to simply be. A few solitary figures wandered the streets, their footsteps softened by the fresh snow. Each movement was slow, deliberate, as though the city had taught them to match its rhythm. A man with a wool scarf wrapped snugly around his neck paused by a lamppost, tilting his head to watch snowflakes settle on his gloves. A woman with a small dog on a leash walked carefully along a frozen puddle, her breath visible in soft clouds that drifted and vanished into the night. Even the distant sounds of Paris, usually loud, bustling, and insistent, were subdued, replaced by the soft whisper of snow settling and the occasional distant bark or muted bell. Everywhere one looked, the city seemed to breathe slowly. The snow cushioned footsteps, muted noise, and created a sense of timelessness, as though Paris had paused to enjoy its own quiet beauty. The air smelled faintly of pine from nearby decorative wreaths, of earth from the dampened streets, and of sugar from pastries cooling on window sills. The combination of scents, sights, and sounds formed a gentle cocoon, inviting anyone who wandered here to let go of their worries, to surrender to the calm that fell like a gentle snowfall over every thought. From the higher rooftops, the lights of the city sparkled, casting a soft luminescence across the quiet avenues below. Shadows danced delicately on the snow, moving only when a passerby or a drifting snowflake interrupted them. Even the wind seemed tamer, carrying a soft hush that whispered across the rooftops, through the narrow alleys, and down to the banks of the river, as if sharing a secret only the night could hold. In this serene landscape, the world outside became a gentle lullaby. Every sight, sound, and smell contributed to a slow, soothing rhythm. Time seemed to stretch, elongated by the softness of the snow and the warmth of light. Each moment invited the heart to relax, the mind to ease, and the body to sink into the quiet comfort that only a snowy night in Paris could provide. The city, with its muted charm and gentle glow, promised peace, inviting all who lingered to let go and simply breathe, wrapped in the soft embrace of winter's quiet magic. A soft, almost ethereal melody floated through the air, carried by a lone violinist standing near the banks of the Seine. His instrument glimmered faintly under the dim lamplight, and with each drawn bow, notes rose gently, intertwining with the hush of falling snow. The music seemed to float above the quiet river, wrapping around the bridges and rooftops, filling the chilly night with warmth and a sense of tender calm. Each note was deliberate and slow, like a conversation with the night itself, touching the hearts of anyone who happened to pause and listen. The Seine, usually bustling with boats and chatter during the day, lay tranquil and still beneath the falling snow. Its dark waters reflected the soft lights of the city, creating an almost dreamlike landscape. Street lamps along the riverbank glowed faintly in the mist, their reflections shimmering like elongated diamonds on the surface of the water. Occasionally, a gentle ripple would disturb the mirrored lights as a duck or swan glided by, leaving tiny waves that dissolved almost instantly into the calm. Everything felt suspended, as if the city had been held in a quiet, magical moment just for this night. On one of the bridges above, a young woman leaned on the railing, her scarf wrapped snugly around her neck, watching the snow fall in slow, silent patterns. Each flake seemed to carry a story, a tiny fragment of the night itself, landing softly on her gloves, her hair, and the stone beneath her hands. She closed her eyes briefly, letting the music and the gentle rhythm of snowflakes soothe her mind. Her breath created small clouds that lingered briefly before disappearing into the cold air, merging with the whisper of the violin and the soft swish of snow falling on the riverbanks. Not far away, the Eiffel Tower glimmered in the distance, its lights softened by the mist and the veil of snow that hung over the city. The tower, usually a symbol of grandeur and energy, appeared almost dreamlike, delicate, and calm, blending perfectly with the stillness of the night. Its gentle illumination provided a comforting glow, casting subtle shadows across the frozen streets below. The distant hum of the city felt muted here, replaced by the combination of music, snow, and soft river sounds, a lullaby composed by the city itself. A few passers-by moved slowly along the cobblestones, their footsteps muffled by the snow. Each step was careful, deliberate, as though they too had learned to match the pace of the night. A couple strolled hand in hand, pausing to watch the snow settle on the ornate railings of the bridges. A man with a small umbrella tipped slightly in the wind lingered near the river, listening to the violin as if it were the only sound that existed. Even the usually bustling cafe terraces nearby were empty, their chairs stacked and snow gathering softly atop them, further emphasizing the sense of calm that had settled over Paris. The violinist's music seemed to resonate with the city itself. Every bow stroke brought out subtle echoes, carried off by the river and reflected by the snow-covered buildings. The notes lingered, fading slowly into the cold air before being replaced by the next delicate phrase. It was a music that did not demand attention but invited it, gently coaxing the mind to let go of tension, to slow the heartbeat, and to sink into the peaceful rhythm of the night. Above, the sky was a deep navy, dotted faintly with stars that peered shyly through the veil of clouds and snowfall. Snowflakes caught the dim light as they fell, turning each into a tiny sparkling jewel. The combination of music, gentle snowfall, and soft illumination created an almost cinematic scene, where the world seemed to pause, allowing anyone present to simply exist in perfect harmony with the moment. The city exhaled a quiet serenity. The sound of the violin, the muted reflections on the river, the soft crunch of snow under careful footsteps, all of it blended into a soothing, continuous lullaby. Paris, for once, was not bustling or hurried, it was calm, tender, and entirely present. Those who walked, paused, or even stood in quiet contemplation felt their thoughts slow, their worries dissolve, and a gentle peace settle over their minds. Time itself seemed to stretch, elongated by the gentle flow of music and the falling snow. Every note, every flake, every reflection on the water contributed to a rhythm that was both calming and hypnotic. It was a rhythm that spoke to the heart, promising quiet comfort and the release of tension. In the midst of the snowy Paris night, the city had transformed into a sanctuary, a safe haven where the mind and body could breathe freely, and the soul could rest. As the night deepened, the violinist's melody continued to drift over the river, a delicate thread weaving together the quiet streets, snow-covered rooftops, and soft lamplight. In this tranquil moment, Paris seemed to hold the world gently in its embrace, offering calm to anyone who paused long enough to notice, inviting them to let go, to relax, and to prepare for the peaceful rest that awaited in the night ahead. As midnight approached, the city of Paris became quieter still. The snowfall continued, soft and unhurried, covering every street, rooftop, and bridge in a pristine layer of white. Footsteps from earlier wanderers were now faint impressions, slowly being hidden by the accumulating snow, leaving the city feeling untouched and serene. A gentle hush seemed to settle over everything, as if the night itself were holding its breath, wrapping the city in a comforting, protective embrace. The street lamps cast a soft golden glow, their light reflecting off the snow in gentle pools that flickered with the passing breeze. The frozen river mirrored the lights like liquid glass, broken only occasionally by the quiet ripple of water or the faint shadow of a drifting snowflake. The bridges spanning the Seine appeared almost ethereal, their arches glowing softly beneath the lamplight, creating a scene that seemed suspended in time. Even the Eiffel Tower, visible in the distance, glimmered faintly through the mist, its lights softened by the falling snow, appearing like a delicate sentinel watching over the city. In the quiet streets, the only sounds were the occasional whisper of the wind, the soft fall of snow, and the distant toll of a clock striking midnight. The chimes were softened by the thick snow, blending seamlessly into the lullaby of the night. It was a sound that seemed to resonate in the heart, a reminder of time passing gently, without urgency, allowing the mind to slow and the body to relax. Even the usual hum of the city, cars, chatter, and footsteps, had vanished, replaced by an enveloping calm, almost sacred in its silence. Small details emerged in the night, like treasures hidden in plain sight. Icicles hung delicately from rooftops, catching the lamplight and refracting it into tiny rainbows. Faint footprints of small animals traced across the snow, leading to cozy hiding places beneath hedges and trees. Smoke rose lazily from chimneys, curling upward and mingling with the mist, carrying the faint scent of warm wood fires and winter spices. Every sight, every sound, every scent worked together to create a sense of safety and comfort, a world slowed down to the pace of peaceful sleep. A lone figure walked slowly along the riverbank, wrapped in a thick coat and scarf. They paused frequently, letting the stillness of the city sink in, feeling the crisp air against their face and the gentle crunch of snow underfoot. Their breath formed small clouds that drifted upward and vanished into the night. With each exhale, the mind felt lighter, as though the weight of the day had melted away with the snow. Nearby, a small cafe's windows glowed warmly, hinting at quiet conversations, the aroma of freshly baked bread, and soft music playing inside. It was a reminder that even in stillness, life continued gently, in harmony with the calm of the night. The snowflakes fell like tiny whispers from the sky, each one unique, delicate, and mesmerizing. Watching them drift, swirl, and land softly on rooftops or frozen riverbanks created a sense of wonder, a reminder of the beauty in simple things. The streets, empty and serene, seemed almost like a private world created for contemplation and quiet reflection. Time slowed, breathing became deeper, and the heart eased, carried along by the gentle rhythm of the snowfall and the muted glow of Paris at night. Above, the stars peeked through gaps in the clouds, their light faint but reassuring, twinkling as though keeping watch over the peaceful city below. The combination of snow, lamplight, and starlight created a dreamlike quality, transforming familiar streets into something magical, almost otherworldly. Every shadow, every reflection on the river, every twinkle from a distant window seemed to invite stillness, urging the mind to let go of worry and the body to release tension. In this serene environment, the world outside became a soothing lullaby. The soft glow of lamplight, the silent snow, the occasional distant chime of a clock, and the gentle whispers of the wind combined into a harmonious rhythm that soothed the mind and relaxed the body. The city, for all its history, energy, and bustle, had paused, offering a rare moment of complete calm, a space where one could simply exist in the present, fully immersed in the beauty of the night. Finally, as the night deepened, even the softest sounds began to fade, leaving only the gentle shimmer of snow in lamplight and the faint reflection of the Eiffel Tower on the Seine. In this tranquil stillness, every worry, every lingering thought, seemed lighter, softer, and more distant. The quietude embraced the city like a soft blanket, enveloping every heart in peace, inviting sleep, and calming the soul. As the first hours of the new day slowly approached, Paris rested under its snowy cover, and anyone experiencing this serene night felt a deep sense of calm, their mind and body ready to drift into a long, soothing sleep.